injury attorneys at The Advocates can't actually prevent you from being in a cycling accident, they will be by your side to support you following your accident. Our legal services won't cost you a dime out of pocket. So when you need an injury attorney, call us. We're The Advocates, your Utah personal injury attorneys. You didn't deserve to be in an accident, but you do deserve an advocate.
This is The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, Monty. Good morning, my friends. Welcome to The Monty Show, Tuesday, June the 18th, 2024. As always, we're presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business, where you never pay the advocates out of pocket. Never. You don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case. So if you're out on your bicycle this summer and you get hit, hey, maybe you, like me, almost fell down and broke a leg in the grocery store parking lot the other day. Actually happened. You got to know the advocates. Theadvocates.com. You can chat with an injury attorney 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year at theadvocates.com. Yes, I feel like I get asked all the time, do the advocates do workman's comp? Absolutely. The workman's comp experts are the advocates at theadvocates.com. I was talking to a gentleman who drives a trash truck. Bro.
Are you for real right now?
Are you guys seeing this right now?
How did you do that?
Like, my headphone cable is stuck in my shirt.
Monty?
Let me disrobe for y'all. I was talking to a guy who drives a trash truck. Well, you should probably be. And he was injured while he was driving this trash truck. Because the tires on the trash truck were old, and he was driving out of the dump and he got a flat tire and it veered into a post.
Damn.
Yeah. That sounded like it hurt. So, my guy's good.
On that.
Yeah, my guy's good. But go to the advocates, theadvocates.com. Let's get some early shout outs today. Hello. Mountain Mama first went in today. Be a winner like the Celtics and hit that like button. Do people like the NBA? Now, I am a passionate NBA fan unless the Celtics and Mavericks are playing. And then I'm not that passionate about it. I love the NBA. I watch it nightly. I prize pick it every single opportunity I got this year. I love it. It is one of my, next to football, it is one of my favorite sports. You go football, then you've kind of got this hodgepodge of sports porn, like baseball. Like this time of year, I mean, my dreams are over. I'm a Cubs fan, so my season ended in spring training. But NBA, the NBA playoffs, the NBA finals, like I genuinely love the NBA. Mike Smith, I don't believe you're an NBA fan.
No.
I don't. Sadid. Pete Forte, the pro rata we all deserve. Jay Brannon, hello. Lobes fan Gabe, hello. Salty Virginia Peanuts says, happy Tuesday, Monty Nation. Hello. Dakota Tubbs, huge NBA fan. Matt Ritson, Mr. Preston, best mechanic in the business right
100%.
here. Mr. Preston. See, we have a hodgepodge. Everybody in the comments section, shout out what it is you do for a living. What do you do for a living? Preston is a jack of all trades in the car business. Dakota, get your ass beat by the Celtics. Call the advocates. Well, my question is Luka Doncic fat? There was, and I know we took a lot of heat when I said it. I hope that this guy spends the entire offseason playing ball getting thinner, getting it's not that Luka Doncic is fat, because I don't think he's fat, right? He's just not in elite basketball shape.
Yeah, his body composition is not correct. Meaning he has a ton of muscle, he's strong, but he's carrying around a higher fat percentage than you would want. And I know that seems like, hey, well, you're just calling him fat, aren't you? No, and what I'm saying is that he has a great body to play basketball. He just needs to dial it in just a little bit more. It's kind
he has a great body. Are you attracted to him?
No, I'm
Stay
not.
hard.
I'm not. No.
It's a
I'm not.
reasonable question. I mean, James is here. Oak State James. Wow, you're a hospital chaplain. Your day job is a hospital chaplain. I did not know that. You're a Notre Dame fan. I love it.
SMU still isn't back, so.
That's correct. They're in Dallas, but they're not back. Dakota Tubbs is an architect. I like it. What's up, San Diego State? Glenn, number 4. NBA is number 4 on my list. Okay. Matt Ritson, I'm retired. My guy. But I was an equipment manager at Stanford for 34 years.
Well, good thing you retired, because you ain't trying to go to the East Coast, bro.
Nice job, dude. Congratulations. Luka is not a winning player, Eric in Durham says. I think this is a legit question, and I think it's a big one. I think you have this thing where the Rudy Goberts of the world, hot button issue on this show for years now, Rudy Gobert. Is Rudy Gobert a championship player? Clearly not. But I'm split on Luka Doncic in this conversation. Now, obviously, this morning we are going to be talking about, the Boston Celtics winning this championship. But I think Luka Doncic is a really big conversation this morning, because I think when you look at Luka's legacy, to Eric's point here, I don't believe that he's a championship caliber player. I don't believe that Luka Doncic is that guy where you can say, hey, here's the keys to the car, drive us home, right? That's not who Luka Doncic is. Not until he gets himself in elite shape. And when I say that, I don't be that guy in the comment section. And it's like, well, maybe you ought to mix in a salad, bro. I'm not even saying that Luka's fat. Now, does he have a dumper? He does have a dumper.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not saying he's fat. He cannot compete. Foot speed, quickness, athletic agility. He cannot compete on the defensive end. Look, Zion, take it easy. He's not the guy that is just like sloppy, out of shape, like Zion Williamson was at one point, right? But what Luka is not in good enough shape. And when you're playing for an NBA championship and you're just getting outclassed because your conditioning and your physical being is not good enough, that should send you a message. And I understand, listen, he's a father now, he's married, like life is changing, but your singular job is to win an NBA championship, or so you say, Luka, that's what matters to you most. You can't do that if you are not quick enough, agile enough, or if you are not physically able to play defense and rebound at a high enough level in the NBA. I think that's the biggest issue for Dallas. You have a guy that's your franchise player that is a bucket getter, but that's his only ability right now because he's not in elite shape. He does not get up and down the floor well enough. He does not compete well enough on defense. He clearly saves energy. He will not take a block. He will not block a shot. He is not somebody that rebounds at a level that is, determined by his physical build and ability, because his physical build and ability is not good enough to compete at the NBA level when we're talking about rebounds. And I think that was a huge part of this series.
Well, and the sad part is we saw flashes of Luka playing the game in different ways, but those flashes were so small that they didn't have an effect. And I think the frustrating part is that, Luka, I guarantee you understands that, hey, if I drive and kick, like, we're going to be a much better team and, we're going to be in a much better place. But he just went away from that. He stopped doing it. And I feel like this is what it takes for a player of Luka's ability and caliber to learn the lesson, which is, hey, you're playing against the best defensive team in the league.
Yeah.
Treating the NBA finals the way you treated the Euro championships is not going to get it done. You were 19 during the Euro championships. You're not 19 anymore. You're playing the best talent in the world. and playing 1-on-3 basketball is not going to get it done. And so that's why I say I think that when Luka goes back and he evaluates this series and he looks at his game film, what he did, what he didn't do, you're going to see someone who I think does get motivated. I would expect Luka to figure out, hey, how can I get better defensively? Because he was a flat out liability in Dallas. When this series was in Dallas, he was a liability on the floor. I mean, they were switching onto him defensively, right? They wanted that matchup. They wanted the ball in Jaylen Brown's hands going after Luka. And that should be that for Luka. He should take that personally. That should be like an indictment on you, bro, that they're coming after you. So, yeah, I would. It's not that he's fat, but I do think he needs to improve his foot speed. I do think that he needs to improve his basketball IQ in the sense that he needs to do what Jason Tatum did last night, which is, hey, I'm going to draw the attention of the defense and then I'm going to kick and we can swing it. But if I never kick it and I just try to get fouled, we're not going to be the same team. We're not going to have the success that we should have. We're not going to, reach the heights that we should reach. So that's why I say for Luka, it's not that he's fat and way out of shape, but we've seen this story time and time again in the league where, hey, this guy is a little soft physically. He's not like cut. He's not chiseled. He's not in, world-class performance shape. And it costs you. It costs you on the football field. It costs you on the basketball floor. It costs you on the ice. It costs you on the diamond. We see it every single year. So for me, I just think that the Luka story right now and his reputation right now is, hey, great, you can shoot the logo 3 and you can make that, but you're not yet a winning player, a championship caliber winning player. And to become that guy, you have to be selfless. You have to sacrifice. You have to say, okay, dude, I'm going to get in better shape. I'm going to lead this team by example. I'm going to stop constantly bitching at the officials about every single call on the floor. And I think once that happens, Luka's going to be fine.
All right, but do you feel like you dedicate yourself every day physically to this show? Do you feel like you are in championship shape? I mean, somebody punched you in the face, apparently. What do you got going on under the eye there, Jake?
Nothing.
Just got okay. Some people asking if I punched you in the face. I did. I lost my temper and Boston Mapes, what's up? Eric and Raleigh, I don't believe Luka or Kyrie are winners.
Well, Kyrie's a winner. There's no doubt. I don't know how.
Well, he's got a ring, and he's a big. They don't win that championship in Cleveland without him.
Yeah.
Right now, post Cleveland, America's favorite anti-Semite, probably not a winner.
But I think Kyrie lost himself in the media. I don't think that the basketball player Kyrie Irving has changed almost at all. I think Kyrie Irving, in this series, we saw vintage Kyrie Irving, like. Great handle, scoring at a really high level, getting his looks, getting to his spots. Like, I don't think basketball player Kyrie Irving has changed. I think what changed was, hey, I won a championship. I got high on my horse, thought that I could leave LeBron and win, and you still haven't won, but at least now you got to the NBA Finals.
So that's interesting. But this is the Devin Booker conversation or the Damian Lillard conversation. Like, one of the big questions this morning is we look at the NBA Finals now that it's over, and you start now projecting forward. Who's that player that has to get a ring? Jake says it's Devin Booker. I think Luka Doncic now is forever going to be tainted until he wins a ring because he's been there and he's the reason they did not win. I think there's a big part of that. Now, roster construction, okay, great. But when you're in the finals, this is the Devin Booker conversation where I sat on the show sobbing and having a visceral reaction to my guy not getting it done when it mattered, right? Like Devin Booker building, retaining walls with his three-point shot during the NBA Finals, right? I mean, it's the truth. And the sad music is apropos because guys like Luka Doncic build and destroy legacies on what you did when you had a chance. Mm-hmm. And now Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, as Jake properly predicted, Jaylen Brown won the NBA Finals MVP. It's awfully tough not to say, hey, that's a really good player. And they don't win a championship without Jaylen Brown.
100%.
So you don't question Jaylen Brown anymore. You don't question, does JT and Jalen work anymore? You don't question that. Is Luka Doncic a championship player? Is Devin Booker a championship player? I firmly believe that Kevin Durant needs to win another championship.
Absolutely.
I think that's a guy, and granted, he's got a ring, right? That's a guy who's got to win another championship. I look at a lot of these dudes. I think LeBron's got to win a full season NBA championship in LA because the cretins of the world want to taint and this is a different kind of taint, but they want to taint the championship that the Lakers won in the bubble. And I think that's ridiculous.
Yes, they do.
I think it's ridiculous. A championship's a championship. This conversation about, what a legacy is built on, I absolutely think LeBron's got to get one. Well, Anthony Davis has got to get another one.
Well, and I think that the Lakers need to get another one now.
Well, they're behind the Celtics now.
Now you're behind the Celtics. And I think that, if you're LeBron James, I know you're at the back end of your career here, but what more motivation do you need? You need another one. Your franchise needs another one.
How important was it for Kobe to win one with Pau? 100%. I think it was absolutely important to be dominant without Shaq again. So the question remains, if there was one player in the NBA that I think it's imperative he win for his legacy, I'd have a hard time picking Luka or Dame, because I think Dame's that guy that's like, oh, Dame time. And, well, what does that mean? Oh, that's cool. Neat, dude. Love you pointing your wrist. What does it mean?
Yeah, Dame's the guy that tries to get into the Hall of Fame based on the fact that he's one of the most clutch players ever to never win a championship.
Yeah, and I think that is when I look at
he gets in. I'm saying that's
he's in. Dame's one of the best players of his generation. Never to have won a championship.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic, Devin Booker, absolutely. And
I don't think we can say Luka's one of the best of his generation yet. I think he needs to do more still.
Really?
Yeah, well, because I think that we've seen prolific scorers in the league, because that's what Luka is, right?
Yeah.
We're all on the same page, right? Like, Luka's not a complete player. We all agree with that, right? Like, Luka is a dominant scorer, is a elite creator of fouls. Absolutely. And I do think that we should give credit there, because that's a definite skill. But he's a liability defensively. Like, there's no getting around that. And I don't care if he's got bruised ribs or, his foot hurts or whatever. You're out there, dude.
His foot hurts.
But seriously, you're out there. And frankly, what's so disappointing and who we need to bring up is Anthony Edwards, because you want to talk about defining a legacy. Anthony Edwards had an opportunity this year to get over the hump early in his career. Remember the criticism of Tatum before last night? Hey, you've been in the NBA Finals a bunch of times and you've never been able to win. You're not
playoffs, but NBA Finals twice now. And he was a big reason why they didn't win. And had the Celtics lost, I think we'd be sitting here talking about whether or not Jason Tatum's a big game player, because he was pretty soft in this series. But yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting names on the list of players who need to win. And you don't want to be Reggie Miller. You don't want to be the legendary NBA figure that never wins. And I'm having trouble pulling another name, but Charles Barkley. You don't want to be Charles Barkley. You don't want to be Reggie Miller. You don't want to be Pat Ewing, right? Now, those guys all got Jordan, but Jordan got 6 rings. So you don't want to be those guys.
Well, and that's what I think the hard part is about the NBA. We were talking about, greatest choke jobs yesterday after the Rory situation over the weekend. And I think that's the hard part with the league, is that one player used to be able to carry the team. And I think that if you said to me, hey, who's the player that needs to win another ring the most? I would say it's LeBron James. I think LeBron James, even though he's got multiple rings, his standard and his expectation is so much higher. Kevin Durant is not in the Michael Jordan conversation.
No.
Right? Kevin Durant, obviously, my favorite player, but I'm on the same page. Hey, this guy's a cup from an all-time perspective. Kevin Durant's a cup below LeBron. You're not getting around that. It just is what it is. But LeBron James needs one more ring. And it's not even so he can say he's got, So he could say he's got 4 or 7, or it's not about the number. It's about, hey, like I was able to go to the Lakers and I was able to put all the hate to bed. Like, because I firmly believe the bubble championship was as legitimate of a championship as any other championship. I'm not the guy that discounts it. I think that was a well-earned
I think
shit.
it's one of the most difficult championships ever won.
Yeah.
The bubble championship.
But he needs another one to really cement his place as the greatest of all time, because again,
he's got 4.
Yeah.
But he's lost.
How many times?
I think when you've been there and you've lost a lot, I think that makes it difficult. And I think, boy, that's really interesting.
But at least for LeBron can say, hey, I'm the all-time scoring leader. Like, I don't know where he's at minutes played. I think he's close to all-time.
If him and Bronny play together, they'd be the first father-son combo to play together. Like, but LeBron, is it LeBron James?
I mean, I think there's a legitimate case to be made there. I don't think that. See, because the difference between LeBron and these other cats, obviously, is
that's Devin Booker's never going to be Michael Jordan,
right? Yeah.
Luka's never going to be Michael Jordan,
right? Most of these guys, 9 out of 10 guys are never going to be in the position that LeBron's in, and that's fine. I'm not criticizing them for that. I think that speaks to LeBron's greatness, but I do think that Luka is not yet in the best of his generation caliber, because I think to be best of your generation, you have to be great on both sides of the floor. And Luka's not that guy yet. And to your point, I would expect Luka to get in better shape. Like, put to bed the conditioning questions. Like, put to bed the, hey, are you taking your body serious enough questions? Because the only reason he doesn't catch flack for that, or more flack for that, is because he is such a dynamic scorer, because he is so skilled at putting the ball in the hole. If this guy was a 17-8 guy on a nightly basis, we'd be like, dude, you're fat, you're out of shape, like you're a liability defensively, like you're not doing this.
Bro, LeBron's been to 10 NBA finals. So
which guy are you then? Are you the guy that says, hey, he's been to 10 NBA finals, he's got 4 rings, and that's 40% is good enough? Or are you the guy that says, hey, you've been to 10, you've lost 6 of them, and Mike still has 2 more than you?
He's been to 10 NBA finals and only won 4.
So when you look at LeBron's
work, my God,
you look at it in totality, you're like, yeah, dude, I mean, this is, like,
oh my God.
I hate when people say, hey, he's the modern day Jordan, because I think their games are so different. It's not even the way they play the game is just incredibly different. But LeBron
and Michael Jordan's known for winning.
Yeah.
LeBron is not known for winning. I think LeBron would be up there. He's been to 10 NBA finals.
I agree with Durant. Durant needs another one. There's no question about that.
Yeah. I think LeBron, Kevin Durant, I think Luka's there, Book's there, Dame is definitely there.
But look at a guy like look at Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is irrelevant in this conversation.
But he's not elite though.
But that's my point. He's never won a ring.
Ooh.
So for him, he's like, yeah, I need one. But nobody cares about Bradley Beal the way they care about Book or KD or Joel Embiid, right? Like,
yeah. Case summary, what's up? KD and Dallas might work, man. If they had Kevin Durant, if you were putting together Kyrie, KD, and Luka just, let's truth tell about Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
He does not pass the ball enough. He is a great scorer. He is an elite offensive player. He's got all the bag. If he would pass, instead of taking on 4 Boston Celtics the other night, pass the ball to any of the other guys that were open. Like those moments, that's what LeBron had. Well, and he's lived and died on it. He's won and lost on kicking to the corner.
Yeah.
Because you got to have guys that can knock it down. Can you imagine LeBron kicking to Kevin Durant?
If Ray Allen doesn't make that shot, what are we saying about LeBron?
He's got that. Don't even say that.
Right?
If Ray Allen doesn't somehow not step out of bounds and not step on the 3-point line and knock down that corner 3, oh my God.
It's
oh my God.
I think that, the pro Luka crowd's going to tell you he's the best scorer we've ever seen, and he's a great player. And I'm saying that I can make a really strong case that Luka is not even the best scorer in the league. You can make that case, and
I think that's
his
true.
problem is that he's a great scorer, but he's not yet.
He's not an all-around player.
He's
not an all-around player. He's not. He is a defensive liability.
Yeah.
He is what Donovan Mitchell was. And Donnie's an interesting case on his own, although I don't think he's a franchise player. But I look at the way Donovan Mitchell has improved his defense. I look at the way Devin Booker's become one of the best defenders in the NBA now.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the way that, I'm looking at the other guys of Luka's generation, and you see guys that are like, okay, this summer, my only job is to get better on defense.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Donovan Mitchell is with David Alexander in Miami, getting his body right. And then he falls apart in the playoffs. But getting his body right, I want to see Luka doing that. I want to see Luka Doncic with a Tim Grover, with one of the world-renowned physio body guys. And I want to see him come in. I'm in the best shape of my career, bro. Okay, cool. Cool. Now show me that you can defend and win a championship with your defense. That's the big question. Sharice, good morning. Jason Tatum is one of the best players in the NBA. He is definitely an MVP player. I don't think he is an MVP caliber player.
Well, and I don't think he's got to be an MVP, you have to be ruthless throughout the season. You have to be every night, I am the reason my team wins or loses. And that's not the case on the Celtics. And again, I don't love this part of the conversation because I don't think we should be criticizing Jason Tatum for anything today. I think Jason Tatum has earned this championship. I think that, I agree. He's a little soft sometimes, but I think last night he showed his ability.
But isn't it difficult now to look at Jalen's performance in these finals on both offense, and he was absolutely the best defensive player on the floor the entire series.
Yeah, because he embraced it. He wanted to shut Luka down.
Isn't he their best player? I think Jaylen Brown is their best player now. He's the reason they won the NBA Finals. I'm not sure there's another way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that Jason Tatum's some throwaway crappy player. He's certainly not. He's an elite player. But is Jason Tatum top 10 in the NBA? I don't think he is. Booker or Tatum? I'm taking Book. I think Book's got more offensive game. I think Devin Booker is one of the 3 best mid-range players in the NBA. And it depends on how you value Jalen Brunson. And I think Devin Booker, now that he is playing such a high level of defense, I think he's better than Tatum. And the sad thing is, the trait that they share, man, the switch just gets turned off from 3. And the difference is when Tatum's not making threes, he hangs his head. When Book's not making threes, he's murdering people in the mid-range. And I think that's the singular difference between Jason Tatum and Devin Booker. And I think Jason Tatum could be a better all-around player. But I think Devin Booker's a cut above. Now, am I taking, who's another 2 guard? I'm taking Jason Tatum over Donovan Mitchell. Not close. I think Jason Tatum's a far better player. I can rely on him much better. I'm taking Jason Tatum over Donovan Mitchell. But if we look around the league, Jason Tatum or Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum or Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum or pick your 2-3 combo guy. There's not a lot of dudes I'm taking over Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting. I look at Oklahoma City. I think that's a really, really disappointing roster. That's a roster that needs to be, in my opinion, completely reconstructed. You have 3-4 really good players there and 1 elite guy in SGA, right? You need 2 elite guys. You're going to have to remake that. Okay, they're still going to be on the cusp. Look at Minnesota. Does Minnesota have an elite player? Yeah, I don't know the answer to that question either. Because I am not Ant or Jason Tatum.
Well, I think you have to take Jason Tatum.
That's tough, dude.
I think that.
Ooh, that's tough.
Well, but here's why. I think that And it's unfair because Ant's not been in the league as long as Jason has, obviously, right? So, like, this was Ant's first real taste of, like, deep postseason run basketball. So I think, there's a lot, we need to give a lot of credence to that.
But he completely collapsed.
Yeah, but so did Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's done that repeatedly.
Right, but now Jason Tatum's got a ring.
Right, but he's had 3-4 opportunities.
No, he's had 2. Like, they've been to the finals twice with him.
Yeah, but he's lost in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay,
multiple times.
Which I'm totally good with. I think, but what's the comparison between Tatum and Book? Well, now Tatum's got a ring and Book doesn't. Anthony Edwards, I think, has to show that he's got the balls, that he's got the stones, the onions to get you over the top. And I don't think he's that guy. And I look at so many NBA players that can get you right there. But when it's time to make that final ascent to the championship, they can't do it. And Ant is in that situation where I'm like, I don't know. Now, again, to your point, really young guy.
Yeah.
Falling victim to roster construction and cap casualties, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I also think, and this is another piece of the conversation we need to get to today, I also think Anthony Edwards fell victim to the fact that the Western Conference is twice the conference the East is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've been avoiding this.
That conference is 9-10 teams deep, and we're not even talking about we're not even talking about the teams that are coming like San Antonio, and you've got other teams here that are building.
All right, before we denigrate the Celtics championship, let's get some of your comments in here because you're doing that. We'll see. Mapes, he's not ready yet, but I'd like to see Anthony Edwards win one. Needs to point guard, or excuse me, PG's another one.
PG's a good one. Yeah, PG's
Joel
really
Embiid's another one. The process. Joel Embiid is one.
Man, Paul George is a really good pull. I think that Paul George has had, Paul.
Does Kawhi have to win another one?
Nope. I think Kawhi is that one-off player that.
Multiple rings now, won in Toronto.
And I just don't, again, great player.
Did you guys hear the Clippers hired Jeff Van Gundy today to be Tyronn Lue's lead assistant?
Which is a great hire. I think it's a great hire. It's perfect for Jeff. I think.
Why can't that dude own the Cubs?
Who? Jeff Van Gundy?
No, the guy that owned, I can't pull it.
Steve Ballmer?
Big balls, Steve Ballmer, bulging pant guy. Why can't he own I want that kind of ownership on my teams. Why can't he own the Bulls? Why can't he own the Bears? Why does he have to own the fucking Clippers? Anybody but the Why did you do what the Bulls should have done? Oh, because actually spend your money and want to win.
Have the brand value the Bulls have or the Lakers have.
So let me get this right. You built a new stadium. You're getting out of the Lakers shadow. And you hired Jeff Van Gundy, who should be a head coach in the league, but he's not. So you made him your lead assistant. And if you don't win now, it's on the players because there are no more excuses.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the mentality I wish they had. All of that to say, Paul George, great pull.
Multiple chances, dude.
Great pull.
But don't forget his time in OKC. Don't forget, he's had, again, what we should be saying is don't forget his time in Indiana initially when he had an opportunity to beat the Heat and it didn't happen for him.
Karl Malone, Avi. John Stockton, Avi. Dakota loved Melo, hated he couldn't get over the hump. Another great scorer, and this is what Boyd was talking about. Luka, Melo, Iverson, all guys, great scorers, couldn't win.
Same story, right?
Couldn't win. Sharice says the Lakers suck. Okay. Brady Cook, Steph Curry needs to win again. He does?
Nah, he doesn't, dude. He doesn't. Does he want to win again? Yes.
I think he is arguably the greatest shooter that's ever lived.
He is minted as the greatest shooter that's ever done it.
Grant Hill. What if Grant Hill's ankle never melts down? That would be amazing.
Yeah, I don't think Steph needs to win another one, dude. I think that
Clay?
No.
Did Clay win one because Steph won, or multiple because no?
But I don't think so.
Does Clay get the credit?
Dude. Here's the problem, though. Clay is one of the best shooters the league's ever seen, 100%.
Agreed.
But Clay is not a star the way Steph is a star. He's not a star the way KD is a star.
Right, because those guys are dynamic and Clay is not.
Agreed. And so when you say, hey, does he need to win another one? No, he doesn't. I don't think that he's like, oh man, Klay Thompson's legacy. His legacy will be that he won before KD, he won after KD, and he's one of the greatest shooters the league's seen. And furthermore, I think that the way he ends his career will define his career overall. If he goes to the Lakers, the Suns, hell, if they ship him out east, because they're going to trade him.
If they ship him
if they send him east and he goes to,
Jesus,
let's say he goes to Minnesota, which is not in the East, still in the Western Conference, but let's say he goes to Minnesota. I mean, that's a lethal pickup.
And who?
Klay Thompson.
I think. Wait. Is Klay a free agent?
I don't think he's a free agent yet. I think he's still technically under contract. I could be wrong.
I think. So you guys heard the story, right? That Klay Thompson allegedly removed the Warriors from everything that exists in his sphere.
Yeah.
Because, Instagram's the end all be all. He removed the Warriors from everything. And he is going to be a free agent, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah,
I think this one up.
I think that it'll be really. He's not leaving the West. He's not leaving the West. I think he wants to stick it up that at Chase Center.
But
I could see him
to Sacramento, dude.
I could see him on the Suns. I could certainly see him on the Lakers. His father played for the Lakers during the Showtime era. I could absolutely see him.
Denver.
Denver is going to have some cap issues.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The Lakers have free agent cap issues. But it's because Klay has openly talked about the fact he doesn't need the money. I mean, the guy has made bread. So it'll be interesting to see what he takes. I think he wants to beat the Warriors. I think he wants to go back and
play the villain.
Yes. And I think if it means being a hero for the Lakers, which I think would be tragic, I think he would be happy to do that.
Yeah.
He would be, yeah. I think they would be happy. And they now only have 17 rings to the Lakers only have 17. The Celtics have 18.
Bron's got all the motivation in the world, dude.
Yeah. Eric and Raleigh, LeBron needs to sign with the Warriors if he wants. I don't think so. I think the Warriors are learning a hard lesson. That guys like Jerry West and Bob Myers were more important than they gave him credit for. And I think when you look at that roster construction, these young guys, you need Kuminga now. This guy needs to turn into a star. And I don't know that he has the goods that you need. I don't think the Warriors, the LeBron going to the Warriors doesn't solve his legacy issue. LeBron needs to win with the Lakers. And he needs to win. It's this year or not. Because I have sat on this show and I have, speaking of taints, I have shined LeBron James. I think what LeBron's doing is remarkable. How long can he do this?
How long does he want to do it?
When is Father Time gonna call his chip? When's he gonna call in his marker? Because Father Time is undefeated in this league.
Well, and I hate to say it, but at some point,
you're going to land, and that's going to be the last time you land.
Yes, at some point, you're going to do a knee. You're going to do an ankle. You may compress your back the wrong way. It's going to happen.
And I think you look at the Lakers, you finally have draft assets you can trade, and they're willing to trade Austin Reeves. And it'll be interesting. And you can always say the Jazz with Gobert and Don were very much in this same place. If you go back and watch our shows in that time, the conversations and the sources we were telling us, well, they're willing to trade Rudy Gobert. Like that summer before they traded him, but that, leading into his last season in Utah, what did we start hearing? Yeah, they're leaning towards Don. Yeah, they've made a commitment to Donovan. Yeah, you're starting to hear that about Austin Reeves. Yeah, they're willing to trade Austin Reeves. Yeah, he's good, but he's not good enough. And I think they know that they can turn him into a better player. And I think it'll be interesting to see how the Lakers do that. It won't be moving LeBron James, and he will. I would be shocked.
Mm-hmm.
If he leaves the Lakers, I'll go as far as to say I'll do nothing. But it would be shocking if LeCap left the Lakers.
Yeah.
Like, it would be truly shocking. And it just is.
I'm with you. Yeah.
I am currently being spammed because I tweet out the show.
Right.
I'm being spammed about war and politics. And it's just like, come on.
Via social media.
Come on, man. Like, what are we doing?
What is we doing, man?
Anyways, talking NBA hoop. So lock it down. One player that's got to win a championship.
LeBron. 100%. LeBron James.
I think that would be correct. I think that would be
the guy who needs to win one more the most is LeBron James. I think that, as we discussed today, there's a pool of players that either need their first one or do need to win another one at some point. But LeBron, with his situation, LeBron with what's behind him career-wise, but also what's ahead of him, needs to win one more. He does.
Yeah, I think I'm on LeBron too. I think LeBron's legacy will forever be damaged if he does not win a regular non-bubble championship. I think that's the only way you can do it.
Because before that, he has the one in Cleveland, in the second stint in Cleveland.
100%. I agree with that. Calford, that would be amazing. Not going to happen. OG Gary, aren't the Warriors hinting at a rebuild? They are.
Oh, it's
absolutely.
Time. Yeah, it's time.
Fight on Natties. It says Warriors wouldn't win another one because the West is stacked. But couldn't you say that about anybody in the West? I mean, I'm at some point, doesn't San Antonio build around V-Dub? I mean, at some point. So yeah, I would have to think that Victor Wembanyama's on the rise. Again, I love what the Clippers are doing, but they've been at the top of the Western Conference for 5 years now, and what has it meant? Not a lot. The Lakers 2 years ago went to a Western Conference Finals. I mean, the West is difficult, but you have a lot of deep-pocketed teams in the West. It's this conversation about the Celtics championship. Is the Boston Celtics championship tainted because of how easy their road to the finals was? Now, I'm going to tell you, I think that's a bunch of BS. I think they went through the East. They can only play who was put in front of them. They beat them. They beat them soundly. They beat Dallas easily. Like, this, in my opinion, it's inarguable they're the best team in the NBA today, right now. A month ago? Nah, probably not. If people in the East don't get hurt, yeah, but if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. She doesn't, so she's not.
Yeah, and I agree. They can only play who's in front of them. I mean, because, the easy, simpleton take is, oh, well, if they played in the West, they wouldn't have got to the NBA Finals. And I'm just simply saying they don't play in the West. They play in the East. And it's not their fault that Jimmy and Joel and, Giannis and everybody got hurt. Dame, not their problem. That's those teams' problem. And they, instead of saying, hey, they deserve less credit because other teams couldn't stay healthy, what we should be saying is they deserve more credit because they did, in fact, stay healthy. That's what we should be saying. We should be saying, hey, they deserve a lot of credit for going and getting Drew Holiday. That's what we should be saying. That's why they were able to lock teams down, because you had Jaylen Brown, you had Drew Holiday, you had Derek White, you had, Jason Tatum when he tried.
And it's why I know there's a lot of Laker haters in the comment section today. Why were they able to compete this year? Because the last month of the season and in the playoffs, they were only in those. They were winning games in the playoffs because they were pretty damn good defensively. And Anthony Davis is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
And by the way, we need to give Joe Mazzulla his credit.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
I'm not. I think because I think his rotations and I think his offense is garbo. I think that and I am fully aware that coaching's important. Joe Mazzulla is not a tactician. This team, if you want to say their defense, Joe Mazzulla's defense, okay, great. I agree with that. This offense, what is their offense? I don't know either, because it's not drive and kick. It's not attack the basket. It's not shoot
they did
threes.
a lot of that last night.
Right, but they do a lot of everything. They simply play a 5-on-5 game of basketball on the offensive end. They're amazing on defense. They are amazing. But they're not a pick and roll team. They're not what do they do he is a championship coach, no doubt about it. He is not one of the best coaches in the NBA. He's not. Last year showed that. This year, I think it stretches. We were talking in February, March, and April about how there was something off in Boston. And it's because you don't have a fallback. You don't have something that's comfortable that you go to every time. You go to, well, give the ball to Jason and let's see what happens. That's what they did a lot during the season. I'm not denigrating their championship. I think you can only play who's in front of you.
Yeah, I think the hard part with that is there are very few teams in the league. I'm trying to think, like, the Suns devolved into that. The Warriors devolve into that. Like, I think what's hard is that I think there's very few teams. I'm trying to think of one that actually runs legitimate offense. I'm sitting here thinking about, like,
Denver.
Yeah, Denver might be one of the few. Like, I would agree Mike Malone's a better coach than Joe Mazzulla. Michael.
The Warriors, to a certain extent,
in their heyday, they ran great.
They just can't execute it now, though. Yeah. They don't have the talent to. Well, which is why Clay's a free agent.
Yeah, we're at the end of the Draymond era, and it just I don't know, dude. I think that when you say, hey, like, we were talking about something being off with the Celtics, we were talking about that. But what I think about is, hey, okay, maybe, Joe deserves some credit for that. But he deserves criticism, but he also deserves credit for it. And what's hard is, like, I agree. Like, if you said, hey, do you want Joe Mazzulla or Steve Kerr? Well, obviously you're taking Steve Kerr.
Well,
obviously you're taking
Ime Udoka or.
No, I'm taking Joe Mazzulla.
Oh,
I'm taking Joe Mazzulla 100%.
Well, listen, if you're single and you're not worried about your wife cheating on you, yeah, take Ime Udoka.
Joe did what Ime didn't do, and
oh man,
I don't know how you go the other way on that.
I will give you a black eye on the other side.
Dude, this isn't Dodger talk, okay?
This isn't Dodger talk,
okay?
This isn't Dodger talk.
This is the great groper in the office versus Joe Mazzulla.
Right. And as I said, if you don't have a wife and you're not worried about her being betted by your head coach, take Ime Udoka. He's a much better X's and O coach. I think what we're watching in Houston is his finest work. Because that team's going to be difficult to deal with, or should be this year. But I'm not trying to sit here on the day after he won a championship. And
I don't think you're hating on Joe, but I think it's an interesting conversation. Like, how much of this championship is Joe just managing talent, not so much X's and O's, but like just managing talent and keeping them in the right headspace, and how much of this is Joe coaching them and teaching them? Like, you're right. He's better on the defensive end. But also, you can make that same case. Hey, well, I'd be better if I had Derek White and Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown and a healthy Porzingis and Al Horford.
If I had Derek White and Jaylen Brown, just give me 90 points a night and we should win.
Right? Like, so that's why I'm saying, like, I agree that Joe is probably not the best tactician in the league. There are better guys. Like, there are. But
do you understand what he has on the floor? Like, how do you score points on them? Because you've also got Drew Holiday.
Well, that's how.
You've also got Drew Holiday. You've also got, like...
No, anyway. Legitimately, I think the way you beat the Celtics defense is you have to drive and kick, and you have to make the three, which the Mavericks refused to do.
Luka did not want to do that.
And I would also say, you look at the East, most of the teams in the East are not built to do that. Most of the teams in the East are built to play, hard-nosed, physical, mid-range basketball. So you're not going to beat the Celtics that way.
The East is soft.
It is.
But were the Knicks crippled? They were. Were the Sixers crippled? They were. Nobody likes Milwaukee. Even Donnie said it. Okay. Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell's not a championship player.
Even if he's healthy, they're not beating the Celtics. The Celtics are just an outright better team. Yeah, I think the Heat have shown they can beat the Celtics when they're healthy.
No, sorry.
Empty. The opposite of full.
Fucking terrible. The opposite of anything resembling an NBA team. I hope you guys recognize the sacrifice I make for you on this show.
You don't always have to be negative.
That I have to talk about teams that actually, win games.
People will read your positive shit.
As a fan of the Bulls, the Cubs, the Bears, the Blackhawks, Notre Dame, like Marcus Freeman can't count past 10. Legit. That's my sports life.
You can't tell me you're not feeling better about the Bears, though.
I'm not.
Come on.
Ask me a year from now.
Yeah, show me what they did in year one. If Buddy makes it one game, I'm not going to feel so good about it.
Does the flag make the flagpole one time this season? You know when it will?
Are you going to take it out of the closet and hang it out?
I have a massive, like not as long as my size 15 shoe, but massive.
Okay. I thought we were going a different direction there.
Massive.
Can you measure it?
Chicago Bears flag.
Yeah.
I'll put it on the flagpole one time before the preseason starts. And once we lose every game in the preseason and dude is out painting his nails and swaddling in his mom's cleavage, that's where it'll end.
I just try to stand strong.
I'm not.
I'm still
strong.
human.
Welcome to the nightmare. Welcome to the show. Ime about to build an amazing team in Houston. He's already made massive improvements. 41-41 last year. Yes.
Agreed.
Very much. Glenn, stop it. Your puns are not funny. They are, but not.
Grin and bear it. See, the only thing that would have made that better is if you would have said Monty instead of Monty. Grin and bear it, Monty. Right? Like, come on, dude.
UW fan Jim, so happy the NBA season is over. Bring on baseball talk. Anthony Rizzo's out 4 to 6 weeks.
Let me guess, you're a Mariners fan.
Nobody's a Mariners fan.
Yeah.
Nobody. It's just anyway.
Yeah.
No, the Celtics championship is not tarnished because the Knicks can't stay healthy. Yes.
Ron needs to win it the most.
Luka's thick, not fat. Lakers overrated. 17 titles says otherwise, Sharice. Yeah, Sharice is going hard on the Lakers.
Yeah, they're not overrated, but they do need another one now.
The Lakers are overrated because they can't get past the Nuggets in the playoffs.
Does that get the award for stupidest comment of the day so far?
Sharice, you can delete that. It's not too late. I mean, you don't want this.
That's bullshit.
The Denver Nuggets are an elite team in the NBA. What do you mean they're overrated because they can't get past the Nuggets?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Like
what do you mean?
What does that mean? What does that mean? Calford, maybe the NBA needs to do some conference realignment like college football. I'm not falling for your tricks. Real quick, because I want to talk about the Jazz, but I want to get to this Caitlin Clark thing.
Katie Clark, please.
Little Katie here. Can somebody explain to me why Angel Reese keeps talking? Has nobody told her to shut? Shut the fuck up, Donnie. Has nobody said to her that she's out of her element here?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
I don't understand the hate for Katie Clark. I mean, she's good. I think that's why she gets hate. But let's get a couple of things straight. And again, this is, if you're not new to the show, you've heard me say this before. I don't watch WNBA basketball. I watch Katie Clark. I don't watch Katie Clark because she's white or black. I watch her because she's compelling.
Yes, she's entertaining.
I don't watch Angel Reese because she's not compelling. I don't care. I watched you, Angel, in name only, try to decapitate Caitlin Clark, and you missed. And then you bitched about the flagrant you got after the game, even though you made forcible contact to the head and neck area, which literally is the text of the fucking rule.
Then,
yet you still wanted to whine and complain after the game.
Then you insinuated, didn't say it outright, but insinuated that the officials were calling the game a certain type of way. otherwise known as, hey, they want Katie to do well, but ignoring the fact that you just tried to lop her head off. So, yeah, the problem is here, Angel, that you come off as attention hungry.
Petty, and you come off as petty and jealous.
Yes, 100%. Two great adjectives, right? Petty and jealous, I would say, is spot on. And I think that the problem is that Angel's game, it just is not as good as Caitlin Clark's game. And that's okay. Like, that's okay. It has nothing to do with race or what school you went to or any of that nonsense. It's very simple. Caitlin Clark brings eyes to the TV because she's shooting it from a mile away, and she makes it alive.
And she broke you off multiple times.
So
she I love all the people who in Chicago for the sky again.
Bro, this is your W team. Do you feel embarrassed?
The dub. This is what I deal with as a Chicago sports fan. I mean, honest to God, at least Angel Reese in the Chicago sky, can I get a little reach around? Maybe just a tap, right?
Dude.
Shut up and win games because Katie Clark broke you off.
Yes.
The other night.
And it sucks.
All she does is hit threes. Oh, she hit a bunch of those. And she went to the basket, and you decapitated her, and she made the free throws, and she crossed you over, and she made multiple layups, and you had no answer but to try and knock her head off.
Because I don't want them to see me down.
Which you did, and she still beat that ass.
Again and again.
So thanks for embarrassing Chicago. Who are you, the Ricketts family?
Like, show up.
God, Chicago sports sucks. It sucks.
I just don't know why Angel Reese doesn't understand this very simple concept. If you're going to foul Katie Clark like that, don't lie and say you went for the ball. Like,
I'm always going for the ball, bro.
Like, just own her. Like, physically, that's the one area of her game where you can get her physically. Like, so if you're going to foul her, you might as well go full swing, like get your money's worth, man. Like, stop with this. Oh, yeah, I tried to get the ball and her head just happened to get in the way. Like, come on, man.
Help me.
Be better.
Help you. Help me. So let's recap. Okay. So, and I know that, Shenedy, it's pronounced Kennedy Carter. Angel, and again, I'm just over here. Shenedy, call me Kennedy, played 28 minutes. You played 31. Shenedy had 18 points. You had 11. You had 5 boards. Shenedy had 4 boards. Like, she outplayed. You're not the best player on your team. And I would remind you that little Katie Clark here, in 37 minutes, he had 23 points, 8 boards, 9 dimes, and 2 blocks.
Little Katie Clark here's not going to be able to get a nickel for her Gatorade endorsement if he keeps swinging on her.
And I'd remind you, she took 11 shots and had 23 points.
Bro, do you understand how efficient that is?
And was 3 of 7 from 3. And you lost. You're one of the worst teams in the NBA, and yet you won't, or excuse me, the W. You won't shut the up.
Dude.
Just shut the up.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Like, do you understand that little Katie Clark here is averaging 16, 5, and 6? And I know that you're a superior player, averaging 12 points, 10 boards, and 2 dimes.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
Stop talking.
Katie Clark's a better player than you are.
Man.
Nobody knows who you are. Everybody knows who Katie is. Like, just get over it. It's not, and all these people that are like, oh, she's white, so she's got white privilege. Do you know what white privilege is, you fucking prick? I'm gonna guess you don't. It's not because she's white. She's better than you. They're only watching games, and there's other teams in the league. I didn't know that. Are you sure that the Indiana Fever aren't the only team in the WNBA?
What?
I love all these people like there's other teams in the league, Are you sure? I thought this was a one-team league.
I thought Katie was out here playing herself.
I'll look into that, but I thought there was only one team in the. Be better. Win games. Be better. Actually, I don't know. Play defense on Katie, who only shoots threes.
And what's disappointing about the whole thing too is like this whole thing that I feel like we do a lot in our country right now, especially in sports. I feel like there's a lot of times where we're like, oh, like they're only covering her because she's white, and it's like, dude, it has nothing to do with the color of her skin. She could be blue, and she's still dicing you up, and she's still the reason people watch.
No. She could be black, and they'd still watch because she's really compelling. She's entertaining. It has nothing to do with her being white. And I think somebody was talking about she's white with a ponytail. Black women don't wear ponytails? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. You're jealous. Okay. I feel worse. For having
good talk.
Had that
really good talk.
All right, let's update the situation with the Utah Jazz and Lauri Markkanen. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at Prize Picks. PrizePicks.com, America's most popular daily fantasy app is Prize Picks. Get it in your app store. Use the promo code Monty to take 100% deposit matching up to $100. You put in 10, they'll give you 10 more when you use the promo code Monty. Winner chicken dinner last night, and I simply again tell you my level of degeneracy because I only point this out to say that I have got to get Jaylen Brown's box score. Please, God, let this happen.
Thank you.
First of all, Luca, thank you for going over the 51.5 last night. I appreciate you, Luca. Because he had 52 points, rebounds, and assists. Winner. But my guy, Jaylen Brown last night. My guy. And again, I simply point out, 38.5 was his number. 21 points, 8 rebounds last night, which is the big number because that gives him 29, and then he had 6 assists, which gives him 35.
Yeah.
And this is the ball breaker about the people at Prize Picks. Do you understand how close that is? Right? Like it is 34.5. He put up 35.
Yeah.
And an amazing win for your boy. Now, having said that, I wish that, and I closed the Euro score box, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that I had bet all of the money in my savings account on Kylian Mbappe to break his nose. It didn't quite work out for me. But I would also like to point out, and I know that people don't, find it enjoyable when I win things. Are you following the Euros at all? Do you care?
I actually did enjoy watching the Euros yesterday. Like after we make a nice little lunch and we get back to it, and I'm like, you know what? Like I'm going to give the Euros some run here. I'm going to turn the Euros on. Let's see what we get. And what did we get? France, Austria, good game. The Belgium-Slovakia game was wild.
It was.
Dude, Belgium scores 2 goals. Both goals are pulled back for offsides. And the second offsides was not close, but everyone's like, oh, that was really close. And it's like, dude, he was offside.
Lukaku was offside.
Like, there's no question about it. So today, when I'm looking at Prize Picks, you're damn right I'm looking at the Euros, because what do we have today? We have the one-off opportunity in Prize Picks to go out and win some bread. Yes, Cristiano Ronaldo. Now there are a couple ways you could go about this. So one, you could go shots on goal. His number's 4.
What's his goal number?
His goal is half.
That's what my guy Mbappe was, and I took more, and of course it was less.
And shots on target, right? Because that's two different numbers, right? Shots is just shot attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Shots on target is 1.5. So he's got to hit the net.
Yep.
So I'm more inclined to take shots because I think he really should have opportunity.
I think Cristiano Ronaldo knows he has to show out in this tournament. I'll probably go over, but you guys, this is the beauty of Prize Picks. I think that number one, that Sabrina Ionescu is only 6 assists tonight, which, listen, I love that. So there's some W action tonight.
And there's also a
Yes.
celeb golf tab on Prize Picks right now.
There is.
Which I kind of like this. There's some opportunity here. So first one, Paige Sporonic and Colt Knost. For birdies or better at 6, I'm taking less.
Can I just tell you how much I dislike Paige Sporonic? I understand she's got huge cans. I get it. She is stacked. I think she is revolting. So I'm a golf.
Revolting might be strong.
She's revolting. I am a golf.
How is she revolting?
Because it drives me crazy that we have OnlyFans stars who are only in the business of golf to sell OnlyFans subscriptions. And so they go out and they wear these skimpy outfits and they've got their chest hanging out. And Paige Sporonic is only popular because she's got large breasts. That's it. What else do you know her for?
Well, see, and that's the right way to put it, because Paige would tell you, hey, I actually do golf, and she can golf. She can. Like, that's documented. Like, she can golf. She's pretty good. But I think the way you just put it right there is the biggest issue. What are you known for? Well,
Yes.
you're known for, showing your body off, and that's unfortunate.
Yep, totally agree. Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. Download the app. Use the promo code Monty to get 100% deposit matching.
So anyway, on Prize Picks, my take today is Sporonic and Colt Knost for less than 6 birdies.
I think Garrett Clark and Austin Reeves, you can go more. Austin Reeves from the Lakers. Sorry, I can't remember the Charisse, I think it was. You're going to be upset.
Ronaldo for more than 4 shots.
I think Michael, and I'm going to do a golf one because Michael and Dylan Block will get more than 6 birdies. That course is not difficult. And then this one's tough because if I go against Paige Sporonic, she's going to slap me in the face and put up more birdies. I'm going to go less.
I did as well.
I'm going to go less. I'm going to do, so here's how it works. You choose more or less. Paige Sporonic and Colton Knost are 6 birdies or better. I went less. Michael Block, Dylan Block, Blocky.
Yeah.
6 birdies or better, more. Garrett Clark, Austin Reeves, 2 great golfers, 2 of the best in this tournament. 7 birdies or better. I went more. So I'm going to play a $20 flex play, which means I only got to win 2 or 3 to cash. That one's in the bag.
I went Sporonic and Knost less. Ronaldo more than 4 shots.
Ronaldo.
And Aaron Judge for more than 1.5 bases.
It's obnoxious to say Ronaldo like that. Okay, I like that. I'll do a Euro one. I'll do Euros as well and some baseball and whatever. I love it. Utah Jazz update for you right here on the Monty Show. So we have been having a lot of conversations about the Utah Jazz and what are they doing leading up to the NBA draft and into this summer. And I have told you that Lauri Markkanen's a guy they're willing to trade. And I know that's controversial in Jazz country, and a lot of Jazz fans don't want to hear that. But the truth of the matter is that Jazz have offers and multiple offers for Lauri Markkanen. What does that mean? Not much, because the Jazz are going to ask for a windfall. They are going to ask for an enormous return on Lauri Markkanen. At a minimum, a Lauri Markkanen deal is going to be a 3-team deal. I have been told for going on a week now that the Jazz, in fact, do have a deal that they could execute that is a larger return than they got for Rudy Gobert, which I would remind you netted them a ton of picks and Walker Kessler at a minimum. I think that this is a deal that they just simply do not want to make. My feeling is, based on sources I've talked to around the NBA, that the Miami Heat are involved in that deal. I think the biggest thing that the Jazz have going for them, should they want to trade and eventually trade Lauri Markkanen, which again, I'm not convinced they will, but should the Jazz want to move Lauri Markkanen, I think what you're going to see is that his salary, which is $18 million, if memory serves, is very trade friendly. He is on a club friendly deal. Lauri Markkanen is a guy that is well respected in this league, and he's a guy that a lot of teams view as that final piece that could put them over the top. And I think certainly the Miami Heat are going to retool that roster. I think they would love to end up with Lauri Markkanen, but who is that third team that's involved? The Miami Heat are cash strapped. They do not have a lot of flexibility to make a trade and would almost certainly not be able to take on additional salary, which again is exactly why Lauri Markkanen's contract is such a big trade chip for Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz. But here's the question you have to ask yourself about the Utah Jazz. Are they all in today, right here and right now, on winning a championship as soon as they can and are capable of winning a championship? The answer is absolutely they are not in on winning a championship. If the Jazz so desired, they have the assets and the human capital to make trades that could put them at the top of the Western Conference this coming season. They will not do that. They have the capital and the human capital to make deals that could win them an NBA championship in the next 2 or 3 seasons. They will not do that because historically, and I say, if you look at the historical data on the money that Ryan Smith, the owner of the Jazz, has spent and the business that he has conducted, he has never, not once, added significant payroll to this roster. Every major deal, every transformative roster impacting deal the Jazz have done has reduced liability financially, whether it was the Gobert trade. And I'm not even saying the Gobert trade was a bad trade. I'm not even here to sell you that the Donovan Mitchell trade was a bad trade. It's what you did in the wake of those trades, which is absolutely nothing to make this a better basketball club. The Jazz are not ones to go out and spend money. And until they show us they are willing to do that, they will simply be moving parts around to stay right on that line of, hey, are they a play-in team? Hey, are they a playoff team? To keep fans in what do you want to call it? Invested, locked on the Jazz, whatever you want to call it, until Ryan Smith and Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz show us that they're willing to be aggressive and outlay cash to make this roster more capable of competing at the top of the West. Jake, I just don't know why we would believe that they would do that.
Right. And I think that's the best way to say it. I think that past behavior is the best indicator of future behavior. And again, I don't even think it's a thing where Ryan never wants to win or isn't concerned with winning long term. I just think right now it's not a priority. And I think that we can confidently say that because of what he's done and not done. And everyone seems to think that that's like controversial or like we're trying to hot take Ryan. And I'm not. And again, every time we talk about Ryan and what he's done and not done, I always make it a point to say it's not personal. It's not like I'm saying Ryan's a bad guy, because I don't think Ryan Smith is a bad guy. I think he's probably a good dude. But the reality is, when you own a professional sports team, I am going to judge you based on what you do and don't do, the trades you do and don't make. I don't know, like Jordan Clarkson. Why is he still here? Right? Like, why is Colin Sexton still on the roster? Why is that not gotten done yet? Like, there are multiple trades that could be done that don't involve Lauri Markkanen over the last, 2 seasons that could have made this team better that you just frankly haven't done. And I haven't even gotten to guys like Taylor Hendricks rotting in the G for way too long. Like, I'm just telling you guys, like, it's not personal, but you're not going to get me to say, oh yeah, wow, this franchise is in a great place. Because the franchise isn't in a great place. His pocketbook is going to get in a better place because he's going to get taxpayer dollars. The Olympics are coming. Like, there's a lot of ways that Ryan Smith can get back into a good place financially. But I'm not going to sit here and try to sell you guys a package of goods that says, oh yeah, the Jazz are, man, winning is all that matters. Because frankly, I think winning is like 5th or 6th on the list right now. I think the hockey team is number 1. I think number 2 is Ryan Smith's pocketbook. I think number 3 is the NBA draft and seeing who they could get there.
Yeah.
I think number 4 is going to be jersey rollouts for the Jazz again, and this is the other point of contention. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand why Jazz fan won't just say, yeah, We're more concerned about bringing the hockey team in and making sure that goes good than we are about winning an NBA championship.
Well, and the biggest question is, if you are not trying to trade Lauri Markkanen, why have you not signed him to an extension? Why have you not yet, to this point, done everything you can do to either sign him or make it very clear you're going to extend him? He's going into a free agent year. And you've done this with Jordan Clarkson. You leave these unanswered questions hanging and lingering. And sources that I've spoken to with the Jazz say that he is, without question, their franchise player. And if you are able to trade a player, it'd be John Collins. If they could trade John Collins, they'd love to trade John Collins. He's their largest contract. And I think they understand, while John was pretty solid for this club last year, but when you look at his deal, the cash that the Jazz still owe John Collins is a bit, like he's making $26.5 million. And his deal is a player option for 25, 26. So you owe the guy, you're going to wind up owing the guy $53 million. So that's a lot of money on a team where you're not competing for a championship.
When does Lauri's current contract end?
After this coming season.
So let me get this right. And I'm just looking at numbers here. So you owe John all that money. Lauri is 1,000% without any type of hesitation or question tradable right now. You just don't want to trade him. Then, and this is just a guess, right? Speculation, my opinion. Maybe they go all in and they give him the Brinks truck. You're telling me that next year, when this contract comes to an end, they're going to back up a Brinks truck that's on a level of $40 million a year for a franchise player. I don't buy that. When have they done that?
You've never seen Ryan Smith do that.
Like, and everyone's going to say, oh, well, the Rudy contract. The Rudy contract was done when he bought the team, dude. Like, that wasn't his deal.
That was not his. So basically, he bought the Jazz, and 15 minutes later, Dennis Lindsey, then the general manager, put a Rudy Gobert contract in front of him that was ridiculous. Is Ryan Smith going to say no? You're not saying no to that. And what did he do? He almost immediately flipped him. And I think people want to give Ryan Smith credit for building a championship team. He has not built a championship team with the Jazz. He's never been part of that.
No.
And if you look at his cap, you have one well-paid player. It's John Collins, not your guy. You traded for him. Sexton, Markkanen, Clarkson, not your guys. You traded for them. And Clarkson obviously has been here, he predates Ryan. Hendricks, Keontae George, who your general manager, Danny Ainge, said was not a number one, which still is one of the worst things I've ever heard Danny Ainge say or do as an NBA executive.
Shocking.
Taylor Hendricks, I think, has incredible upside. I believe that Keontae George is a number one guard in this league. Walker Kessler, which you know where I'm going with this.
Yep.
Walker Kessler, falls out of favor last year, not starting, and was arguably the centerpiece of the deal for Rudy Gobert, available and on the market. And now you have Will Hardy. You hire this supposed young gun head coach. I love the hire. We broke the news of the hire. I loved it at the time. He's gone nowhere. This team has regressed. Their defense under Will Hardy has been tragically bad. What did Ryan Smith say the other day? Great young coach. He's our guy. We're lucky to have him. Are you lucky to have Will Hardy as your head coach? I'm 100%. I'm asking you this question. Did you hire the wrong head coach when you hired Will Hardy? No, I don't think you did. Every day that he's your head coach, do you have a question mark at head coach from this day until he proves that he is not the issue here? Yeah, I think you have a question mark. Will Hardy has never shown the ability to build a defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or develop young talent. He's not shown the ability to do that.
Yeah, and Walker Kessler is the prime example of that. And the problem is that this coming season, Key and Taylor Hendricks and everyone seems to forget about Bryce Sensabaugh, are guys that are going to need more minutes. And what I don't understand, and I'm not even saying that this is entirely on Will, but there is definitely a piece that is his responsibility. I don't understand why you're trying to develop dudes in the G League when you're not relevant in the NBA right now.
And if we get to training camp and Lauri hasn't been extended, because the thing that I struggle with so much on these deals, I think he is eligible for extension. Like, you can physically sign the contract in late August. If you get to training camp and you haven't extended him, and the thing that worries me is nobody is saying that the Jazz are negotiating an extension on Lauri Markkanen. And almost every time these deals come up, you always hear they're going to extend him. They're going to extend him. August 6th, excuse me. They're going to extend him. I have not heard that one time. I have not heard that. We heard it long before they extended Donovan.
Yep.
We heard it. We talked about it on the show long before they extended Rudy. You know. And I'm not bragging. We have really good Jazz sources. We have really good NBA sources. I encourage you to go look at our track record. I have not heard maybe once about 18, not even right after the trade. Oh, they're going to wait and see what Lauri Markkanen does. His first season here, revelation. Haven't heard word one. Have not heard word one.
And what's the biggest difference between what Don and Rudy, the position Don and Rudy were in, versus Lauri? Well, Don and Rudy were obviously in a position where they were playoff contenders. They were in a place where it was like, hey, you're either going to extend these guys and you're going to continue to try to push into the Western Conference Finals, or you're going to let these guys walk or trade them and you're going to rebuild. So the difference is that this Jazz team has no business even talking postseason. And so the idea, and this is where I really start to struggle with the philosophy of Ryan Smith and this front office, because I don't believe for a second that Danny Ainge just forgot how to build a roster.
Well, and there's murmurs that Danny is a little frustrated with the direction that he wants to go versus the direction he's able to go. We'll see if that ever bears fruit. But I just go back to the Jordan Clarkson thing.
Yep.
When is Ryan Smith authorized some big trade at the trade deadline? Or a major move? Or it's not how he does business. Those deals cost you money. And so the thing that stands out to me is, if you don't extend Lauri Markkanen before training camp, do we have this same conversation going a year from now when he's a free agent and you're going to have to compete?
Well, and does he want to keep playing for you if you're unwilling to extend him now?
Because are we going to do the whole Gordon Hayward don't leave thing again? And then your hearts are going to get broken when he winds up in Boston or Miami, or...
Because that's the problem. He is a natural fit on loads of teams in this league where he could go to that, whatever team you want to use, and they are instantly way better. Like Lauri Markkanen or Julius Randle. Lauri Markkanen or whatever hybrid big, right?
Yeah.
If Lauri Markkanen is in there instead of Kristaps Porzingis, if there are a million places he could go, man. So I don't understand, why you're messing around with this extension. Because I do believe that's kind of where you are right now. Like, you're in no man's land with this extension piece. Like, I understand, hey, you got to wait till August 6th to ink the deal. Okay, I get that. That's the rules. Cool.
Yeah.
But I agree with you that it does feel very different with Lauri than it did with Don and Rudy. It feels like, hey, the talk is, and again, I know I keep bringing this up, but I really believe this is the day-to-day. Hockey team, hockey team, hockey team, Olympics, Olympics, Olympics. Oh, by the way, our best player on the Jazz is looking at an extension, and doesn't really seem like there's much momentum towards that. Doesn't really seem like that's just a done deal, that's like assume that he's going to get extended. And maybe they will. I'm certainly not saying they won't extend him. I just think it matters how you handle player extensions, because what's going to happen if they don't extend him, he's obviously going to leave, or they'll trade him, or whatever his departure looks like. And then Jazz Nation is inevitably going to go down the, hey, no good player wants to play for us train, when in reality, what is it? It's the owner of the team is not yet ready, or maybe just doesn't want to invest. Like, and what was the book of the package of goods we were sold? Hey, I'm a Utah guy. I'm carrying the torch. We're gonna go out and win, and winning is all I care about. And like,
is there anybody that's a Jazz fan who believes that Ryan Smith will authorize an increase of $32 million a year for Lauri Markkanen? Because his maximum available number is 4 years and $200 million. He's making 18 now. You're gonna authorize a $50 million per year deal for Lauri Markkanen. When you just brought in an NHL team, you're endeavoring to do a multi-billion-dollar deal. Granted, a lot of it's paid by taxpayers. But this land development deal in Salt Lake City, is there anybody here who believes that Ryan Smith is like, yeah, let's kick Lauri an extra $30 million a year? Anybody that believes a $32 million increase for Lauri Markkanen, who sees that coming?
And then the next obvious question is, let's say that does happen, just for conversation's sake. Okay, you extend Lauri, you're paying him $50 a year for 4 years, $200 million. Okay, cool. Then we're going to ask, well, if you're going to pay Lauri that, doesn't that mean you have to go and try and win inside that contract? Like, are you just throwing $50 million a year down the window so you can keep some sense of marketability with this team? Because if you extend a guy like Lauri and you pay him that money, and you don't invest in winning, you don't add to the roster,
you have $40 million in cap space.
Yet here we are,
and what they're a top 10 draft pick, and you're telling me you're not.
That's why I'm saying it does not add up. And again, it's not personal. This is nothing about Ryan Smith as a dude. It's not personal, dude. But the reality is, you're not investing in the team. There's no getting around that, man. Like,
and you look at where did Mike Conley and Alexander Walker end up? Deep into the playoffs, right? You look at Jared Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, like those guys you traded were big contributors to their teams. Jared Vanderbilt being hurt crushed the Lakers defensively. And what has this guy done to add to the team? That's what I'm asking. That's where
O'Neal went to the playoffs with the Nets after they traded him.
And then the Suns.
So
I'm just saying, it is what it is. All right, let's get your thoughts in here on the Utah Jazz. Mr. Downtown. Lauri for Julius Randle in a first-round pick. Julius is a two-time All-Star.
But I'm being serious, though. If you put Lauri Markkanen in Julius Randle's shoes on this Knicks team, you're telling me they're not better? You're telling me that because I'm telling you right now, Lauri Markkanen is a better player than Julius Randle is. He's got a better three-point game.
More dynamic.
He's more dynamic. He's way better in transition. He's a better teammate. Like, he's a better player. So I don't know. Like, that was a hypothetical. I'm not saying the money even works on it. But what I am saying is that, cool, that's great that Julius is a two-time All-Star. What I want is someone who I can plug in there that's going to actually make a difference.
And Julius is making $28 million.
Lauri's making 18.
How much money does Julius have left?
Which, again, brings me right back to, you're not paying Lauri $50 million a year.
Yeah, Julius has a $30.9 million player option for 25-26.
Like, I got heartburn over paying Julius $30 a year, dude. Like, did you guys see this story before we get to your comments? Did you see the story about how the Pelicans are not interested in paying Brandon Ingram $50 a year? And I would say, I agree. I'm not interested in paying Brandon Ingram $50 a year. So, again.
But you paid Zion.
So are you going to pay Lauri $50 a year on the Utah Jazz? I come on.
That's not been who you are, Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson's contract will give you heartburn. 36, 39, 42, and 45. Unrestricted free agent 28, 29. Do you know how much money you owe that guy? Would you rather give Zion Williamson a $200 million deal, or would you rather give Lauri Markkanen a $200 million deal? And if you're Lauri Markkanen, I don't know, you're probably not turning that money down, but the Jazz have never spent that money. That's what I'm saying. Ronaldo is well known for underperforming internationally, but he always takes a load of shots. Take the shots on Ronaldo. I love the Euros, you guys. If you're not watching the Euros, you're missing out. Alumidursky, the Jazz have not been serious about having a playoff caliber roster since they traded Don.
Yeah.
Don't disagree with that. Change the name of the Jazz to the Utah Cryos, as in cryostasis. Nothing's going to change for a long time.
Wow.
Brandon Butler, hello. Hypothetically, who is the big name or big salary the Jazz could go after? Would someone like PG take the hairline's cash without Max? Stop it. You have no idea. You have no idea. The Jazz seem inexplicably linked to Tyler Hero. And I hope that's not the case. If you trade Lauri Markkanen, you're going to have to trade for dudes. You're not going to be able to go out and sign a premier free agent if you're the Jazz.
Right.
That's not who you are and where you are. You haven't won. You haven't won in recent times. You've traded well-respected veterans, and everybody's gotten better since they left here. It makes it a tough sell to a free agent. But if you are somebody that's looking to unload a contract, the Jazz can absolutely be a destination. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But this is the Russell Westbrook conversation. When everybody told me I was stupid and he's going to play for the Jazz and they're going to make him suit up, he was never playing here. That was never going to happen.
Yeah.
He was never playing here. I think you have to use some common sense here. The Jazz have to make a deal. And those deals, the deals that get made, are very rarely ones you know about. You had no idea Rudy was going to Minnesota. You had no idea Dom was going to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
You knew those deals were going to happen. You just didn't know where and for who. Like, who'd have thought that Minnesota would have included all those picks and Walker Kessler? Nobody would have thought that. And I think you look at the landscape of the NBA, the Jazz need everything. You just called out and said your point guard's not a number one point guard in his first year.
Like, and again, it's the David Fizdale thing. How do you let that guy go?
And where's your development piece? So, Brandon, I think it's a very tough sell. The rules say they cannot extend him until August. Right. That's what we're saying, August 6th. I miss old Karl Malone, John Stockton Jazz from back in the day. Totally different era. Let's see. James says, is there any way Dallas could trade for Lauri? I do believe that if Dallas has Lauri, Luka, and Kyrie, they could win a championship. I mean, in a roundabout way, any deal for Lauri Markkanen is probably going to be 3 teams.
Yeah.
Because I also look at Dallas's salary cap, and Mark Cuban's been interesting in the way that he structured his finances in Dallas. But you're super top heavy. You've got $84 million invested in Luka and Kyrie. And then it's Timmy and PJ Washington. And I mean, you're super top heavy. You have some cap space where you could make some moves. But the other thing I think you have to worry about is, like, who are you willing to give up? I mean, are you really telling me that PJ Washington's not an invaluable part of that team? I think he was incredibly important to Dallas. Does Tim Hardaway have $17 or $16.1 million in trade value?
No.
Probably doesn't. Good old Danny Gafford.
Gafford made himself some money.
I think he did.
Yeah, he made himself some money.
Are you willing to trade a guy like Derek Lively? Because people are going to ask.
No,
I would not trade Lively.
I think he's going to get an extension with them at some point.
But it'll be interesting. What do you do with a guy like Jaden Harvey, who I thought actually acquitted himself quite well in pressure situations? I don't know. Dallas has some questions to answer. Is Danny Ainge hands tied? You mean are Danny Ainge's hands tied? To a certain extent.
Well, isn't every front office guy, every trade's got to get approved by the owner. So, I mean, to some level, every guy is.
The Jazz with Laurie right now are at best 13th in the West just because of what's built around him.
Yeah. And that's the other, ball breaker, if you will, for Jazz fans. You look around the West and the bad teams are getting better and you're, respectfully not getting better.
I would agree. To Jake's point, Ryan Smith's priorities don't seem very Jazz focused. They're not right now. How could they be?
Yeah.
The Utah Yetis should be taking his priority. Or excuse me, the Utah Hockey Club that is eventually going to be the Yetis, and you're going to make it awkward and announce it when you can't have Yeti uniform or branding.
I love how everyone, when they announced that they did that last week, when they did that rollout, if you will, everyone's like, "Oh, these are just temporary." I don't care if they're temporary or not.
It's
brutal,
awkward,
bro.
It's awkward.
Like
the timing's awkward. You're going to announce the two final names. It's going to be Yetis. You announce the two final names. Before the season starts, you're going to announce what the name's going to be a year from now. And you're not going to have the ability to sell Yeti merch, Yeti sweaters, Yeti. So again, we're going to have an awkward uniform thing with the Jazz and the Yetis.
With SEG.
How? Time after time. I think if they would max him out, big payment front-loaded contract, but they may not be the best path to continue. When has Ryan Smith ever cut somebody a huge check?
And I'm not sure how that pans with his situation.
I don't think so.
I don't know why, so if you think about a $200 million deal, what's he going to cut him a check for 80? I mean, you're not going to cut him a check for half his contract.
Marcus Stuckey, hello. Good to see you. The Utah Jazz should be interesting in nothing but picks and cash right now.
But this is my point.
But how long are you going to... This team has been collecting assets since before you popped out of the womb.
Like you're the
right?
idea of, oh, hey, we're collecting and we're building the war chest. But by the way, we prioritize winning and we want to win. Well,
and we passed on Devin Booker and 1,000 other NBA stars.
But that's the other thing too. So you guys remember when the Keontae George draft, right? And that was a big deal. They picked him up. Everyone was excited, right? And now, the fact that Danny's kind of hating on dude is so is that draft just another waste? Is that no longer a good draft? Because I thought, and I'm with you, I think Keontae George is going to be number one for somebody. But it doesn't seem like it's going to be this team.
The thing that I struggle with is we all talk a big game and this guy's a star and that guy's a star. If you look at the history of this team and you look at where they have picked, tell me again why I should believe that your draft picks turn into superstars. You haven't had that since Gordon Hayward. Your draft picks, Dante Exum was a bust.
And where's he?
Playing for a championship with Dallas.
Oh, right.
He was a butt, like Gorgie Dang, like Trey Lyles. Now you turn Trey Lyles into, okay, great, I'm with you on that. Torian Prince. I look at these other guys and I say to myself, Josh Hart is an integral performer in this league now, not on your roster. You look at the Grayson Allens, the Udoka Azubukis of the world. This team does not draft well. This team has not historically drafted well. And I go back to and you can pick the year that you want, man. You look at the guys in this league and you look at the names that were taken in the 2023 draft. Obviously, there was only one Victor Wembanyama. You took Taylor Hendricks at 9 and stashed him in the G League. When I think guys I don't know, who was taken after you that mattered? Derek Lively probably is a guy that you would point to. But you took Keontae at 16. And okay, those are two guys, but do we have any belief that those two guys will be productive all-star level players for the Jazz? What is our belief system when the general manager came out and told us how crappy Keontae George is? I'm exaggerating, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think the struggle is like it's worse than it was with the draft now because I don't believe that you can develop guys. That's the problem. And it's not, this is a Will Hardy thing, but it's not just Will Hardy. I from a franchise big picture perspective, the Jazz have never, developed guys into huge difference makers. And everyone wants to say, oh, well, what about Gobert and all those defensive player of the year awards? Yeah, but I could have developed him into the best rim protector in the league. Like,
what did that turn into?
Yeah, like it's not like that turned into a Western Conference championship.
And again, if we're talking about collecting assets, is it a Paulo Banchero? Is it a Chet Holmgren? I look at 2022. Is it a what is it? Because I don't see that. Yes, you got Walker Kessler. But what has that turned into?
Apparently a bench guy.
Right? That it's turned into not a lot. And so I struggle. I look up and down the Jazz draft history. They don't have a history of taking assets and turning them into productive goddamn players.
So then we get asked, well, why don't you guys talk more Jazz? Why don't, why it seems like you guys aren't talking as much Jazz. What's there to talk about? Like what are we supposed to do with this? Like, you're not drafting well. You're not developing well. You're not spending on the roster. It seems like there's hesitation in extending Lauri Markkanen. We're getting all this hockey team stuff. We're getting taxpayer dollars to fund it. We're getting the Olympics. And I'm just sitting here saying, great, cool, awesome. When's the next time you're going to win anything?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's where we're at. I think ultimately the Jazz will not. I don't think the Jazz will trade Lauri Markkanen. That's just the feeling I get from talking to people. It would take such an inordinate amount of return. And I think that Ryan Smith is very worried about fan sentiment right now. And I think my biggest fear is that a year from now we'll be having this exact same conversation about Lauri Markkanen.
Mm-hmm.
And it is terrifying to me. It is. Where do you guys come down on a team tanking? I think it's horrendous. Ryan Smith has no reason to tank.
But are they even tanking? Because this is the other thing.
You're either tanking or you're doing everything you can do to win a championship. That's the God's honest truth in the NBA. You're either the Lakers trying to make trades, and you're either the Knicks trying to make trades. You're going to get Drew Holiday if you're the Celtics, or you're the Jazz who aren't doing a whole lot of anything. That's the truth. So is tanking real? Sure, I guess. But are you operators or not? They haven't been operators. Why can't they call it the Yetis? They stick with Yetis. Why no S? Because the Yeti, I don't know. Because they're the Jazz and the Yeti, I don't know. The Jazz will be tanking again this year. I hope not. I think Ryan Smith is at a critical point in his stature in this state. And I wish I wasn't the only one. But again, I'll be the only one to ask, why does a billionaire need billions in handouts? Why does he need taxpayer money? He's a billionaire. Fight on Natties. Would Danny ever make a trade deal with the Lakers? He's made multiple trades and deals with the Lakers.
He's done that already.
OG Gary, the Jazz is a developmental team for the league. They ain't serious about winning. Now that the NBA season is over, time to focus when Dragon Ball comes out.
Cool.
I must. With that is happening in the sports world. The last year, the Jazz relevance has been at the bottom of the list. I watched 3 games this past year when it was back on TV.
You see what I mean? Like, it's not like, I remember that too. That's another great point. I hadn't thought about that in a minute. Like the whole Jazz Plus TV thing.
That was a wreck.
Like, I don't know. I just didn't have a great experience with Jazz Plus. And I'm going to be honest, like, I'm not really inclined to pay for it anymore. I'm not like, and I know
because I can get it in the middle of the season if they're doing well.
Yeah. Like
but Jake, do you even watch Jazz games?
What's to watch? Like, I hate to say that, but what's to watch? Honestly,
Yeah.
if you, and I would challenge people to do this just to try it. Right now with Jazz games, with where this team is at and the lack of relevancy in the market, if you don't want to pay for Jazz Plus, you're going to be just fine. You're not missing out on a whole lot. And that's really sad because when the Jazz are good, it's much better for our show. When the Jazz are good,
much
and
better.
Jazz Nation is engaged and we can talk Jazz every day, that's way better for us. And
Yep.
it's so incredibly frustrating that even when you're bad, we can't get like real good in-depth trade talk that we actually think has a reasonable chance of happening, because that's what we should be doing.
Yeah, we should be talking about the Jazz like we talk about the 49ers dumping Brandon Ayuk.
Perfect example.
See, that's a transition, because then we have to talk about something related to food or sex, I'm sure. Brandon Ayuk on social media live with the future star of the Washington Commander football team guys, Jaden Daniels, telling Jaden Daniels they don't want me in San Francisco.
He got me vlogging this shit.
Bro, what? What happened, bro? They said they don't want me back. I swear.
The 49ers allegedly told Brandon Ayuk they don't want him back. And we're talking about the same Ayuk, right? That wasn't – the 49ers aren't confused with their wide receivers, right? Hey, there's a little team in Chicago that plays at the Park District football field occasionally. The Bears, I would love the Bears to get Brandon Ayuk. I think he is – I truly believe he is a top 10 wide receiver in this league. And I don't know why the 49ers don't value him.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why he thought he should put that on social media.
I don't know either, but
I think he's trying to force a move. K. Nuren says it's Skinwalker Ranch time.
Right.
Okay. It could be. A fight on Natty says 75 days until USC doesn't play defense. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, man. Dude, Lincoln's the best coach in college football, bro.
Totally agree. I don't understand what the 49ers are doing with Brandon Ayuk. Just as I don't understand about why it's so goddamn hot.
Do you guys know what a heat dome is? You ever heard of that term? A heat dome? So
Are you talking about Dave Aranda's skull? Or
no, I'm not talking about 8-Ball in Waco. No, I'm not. So this is called a heat dome right here. See that big ass H in the middle of that map? That's a high pressure system, which means it's going to be hot for a while. So,
bro,
I'm looking at this last night, and obviously every year Americans are known for taking that summer trip. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, hey, dude, if you're a Utah or you live in LA or Vegas, anywhere, on the West Coast, not in the red anymore, in the orange or the yellow, you're really telling me you're going to take that road trip east, even to the Midwest, even if you're Texas? Look at Phoenix, right? Look at Arizona in red.
Phoenix is hot.
You're really telling me that Americans are going to go out of their way to get hotter? There is no way, dude.
Are you telling me? And look at Florida. Look at all our good friends in Florida. Are you telling me that you're like, oh, yeah, we got to get out of the heat. Let's go to...
Like your entire state is red, bro.
Let's go to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where it is currently 84 degrees, but the real feel is 94. And it's going to be a minimum of 100% humidity.
Bro.
I want nothing to do with this.
I thought you just said it feels like 94 with 100% humidity.
Bruh.
Every day in
Dude.
Florida, in SoFlo, 88% minimum chance of rain. That means that 88% of Fort Lauderdale is looking at rain. And come Tuesday, it will not be below 90 for an entire straight week.
Dude.
And the humidity is going to be out your goddamn mind.
Hold on, bro. Like,
dude.
Do you worry about the heat? Oh my God, Monty, are you telling me that global warming's real? I don't know.
Infowars.com.
You know what? I've stopped asking questions that piss people off.
Yeah.
All I know is it's hot and it's not supposed to be this hot.
And it's very powerful.
And if we look at, like I was watching TikTok last night.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny that there was a conservative saying, well, if you look at all these liberal states, they're all on fire. Okay, well, last time I checked, there's a whole lot of conservative Republican states in the South, bro. Right? But if you look at the forecast and you start trying to track where it's hot and where it's going to be hot, it's going to be in the 90s. And there is an air quality alert in New York City for the next 10 days. Well, Monty, that's a Democratic shithole, New York City. Okay.
Retrial.
Let's look at, I don't know, how about North Carolina?
You know, Tobacco Road and stuff.
90, 88, 89, 91, 95, 95, 95, 94. And then you cool off to 91 and 90 on next week before you go back up to 94, 98, 99, 92, 93. Dude. Oh, but Monty. No, but Monty. Dudes, it is hot. It is. Yes, Dakota, this is where we are in this country. Weather report turns into politics.
Exactly.
Right?
So my question was nothing political, right? I was just simply looking at this map. And I said, hey, if you're in America right now, you really taking that summer roadie that we all usually take once a summer? You really tell me if you're in Texas, you're going, where are you going? Because
to hell.
Like I don't know where you go. That's the problem.
To the dermatologist, because you're worried about sun exposure.
Dude.
It's hot. In Texas, okay, it's summer, it's hot. Okay, great. It's not even officially summer yet. And you look at the temperatures like here in the great state of Utah. The great state of Utah, where the average high this time of year is 85 degrees.
Yeah.
Today it'll be 69. Everybody's favorite number. 81, 93, 90. Then Saturday, 99, 101, 99, 99, 99, 92, 92, 87.
We get it. 99's the number.
Dude, it's going to be just cooking in this joint. And that's not even like, have you guys looked? And this is why I left Phoenix, because it's just
the ass beating Phoenix is about to take is so gnar.
Goddamn hot.
It is so gnar.
You guys, let me, and I don't even know how to say this out loud. Today, it is cooler today in Phoenix at 104. 104, 106. But Monty, it's not even Thursday, Monty.
No, but Monty's, bro.
Thursday, 113. Friday, 113.
Yeah.
Saturday, 113. Sunday, 113.
Yeah.
Monday, 113. Tuesday, it cools off to 110 degrees. Thankfully, a cool front is actually coming in because next Friday it'll be 105.
Oh, man. Wow.
We got to look a week and a half down the road for that cooling trend of 105.
I thought you said a week and a half at 113.
Fuck all the way off.
I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and pass on that.
Nope.
Nope. So my point is,
nope.
Y'all are really still taking that road trip because I'm not.
Nope.
Ain't doing it.
Maury Alvarez, one of our great Floridians from Utah. Yeah, but what is the temp in Hawaii? 81 and sunny air day. Let's look it up. I leave for Kauai on
The real
Saturday.
Question you should be asking is,
what's the temperature in Kansas City, bro?
How soft are the fairways in Kauai?
Let's look at Kauai. Let's see. Hawaii. Let's God, son of a biscuit.
You know, anytime you're ready here, dude.
Autocorrect is sticking a finger one knuckle deep on my keyboard. Huntsville, Hawaii. Sorry, it's unloading the 1000s. 83, let's see. When in Hawaii, 84, 85, 84, 85, 84, 83, 85, 83, 83.
Boom.
Suck it.
What's the humidity?
Your mom's house.
Well,
let's see. 90% humidity.
yeah, so pretty humid.
Rain probability over the next week, 60%.
The real feel in the 90s with the humidity.
Real feel is not in the 90s. No.
Oh, okay.
Like right now, it's 83 degrees with a real feel of 89 degrees.
There you go.
UV index 7.
That's not as bad.
No, I'm just telling you, man.
Now, Monty.
Now, Mrs. Monty's up in Seattle right now.
Yeah. Oof.
60s and rain. So, I would take that. Yeah, Ferris, screw you. Carlsbad, California is one of my favorite spots on the entire planet. Love it. Thanks for throwing that in. Swamp ass is the real feel.
Swamp ass.
My guy, Giggity. Swamp ass. Check on your elderly neighbors because they will need some help. Yeah, when it's hot like this, you guys keep in touch.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 72 here tomorrow. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Jake is going to KC and it's going to be 95 and 80% humidity at a minimum. Have fun, Jake. If you're craving a roller dog, hit me up. Yeah, why don't you and Fecal Matter go to the QT together? Tubinsky. Why don't you guys go get some fecal matter off the roller?
Nah, I'm good.
Are you going to eat off the roller ever again? Well, let me ask you this. Will you admit if you eat off the roller again? So have you?
No.
Wait, so you probably have, you lying son of a princess.
No, I've only ate off the roller once.
You've been holding out on us.
No, I've had taquitos one time from QT. Dude, did you just throw up?
That is so disgusting.
Are you serious right now?
That is so disgusting. Oh,
Biologics.
Some guy. Some guy went in the bathroom.
Wow, Monty.
Took a leak. Left one on his thumb and it was like, man, look at them taquitos, boy. No, bro.
Nah, I'm good.
Nope.
Oh, not. I'm good.
Did you just swab the counter by the roller?
Nah.
When John and Hector and Kevin, the guys that are laying down the new streets in Kansas City, rolling to the QT.
It's internal.
Oh, carcinogens everywhere.
Yeah. What else are the people saying?
The answer is no. No. OG Gary, 104 on Sunday in West Jordan.
Yeah, when are we golfing, Gary?
Christ.
I mean, anytime you want to golf or,
Catch me outside. How about that?
Dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot, dude. There's no
in
doubt.
West Jordan.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot.
I'm stoked for Hawaii, you guys. Like just the sushi alone.
Yeah. National Sushi Day today, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Which you don't eat.
Yeah.
What is it going to take for you to get over the sushi line?
I don't know, dude.
Nothing.
I'm not prepared to make that decision.
Never.
Yet. Yeah.
Even if there's a fire.
Even if there's a humidity wave.
I'm stoked. Obviously, golf, you guys know I'm passionate about golf. Canyons Golf, the official golf course of the Monty Show. Up at Park City Mountain Resort, where it is always, let's look at the temperatures in Park City.
So that's what us Utahns do when it gets hot. We
go to the
Park
mountains.
City. Yeah,
go to the mountains.
Go to Park City.
The
trade-off is you're much closer to the sun at that point, but it is cooler.
You're much closer to the sun.
Yeah, so it's easier to get sunburned.
Park City right now, look at this temperature. Read the
wow, bro.
Read the temperature in Park City.
Bro, it's what? It's 34 right now in Park City?
34 degrees in Park City.
Bro, it's June 18th.
Can you guys imagine?
How is it 34?
High of 62, 74 tomorrow, 81, 79, 85. Here's where your balls sweat. 88 on Saturday, 89 in Park City on Sunday.
Bro. Like,
that's hot in the mountains.
In Park City, that's hot.
That's hot. And there's not a chance for rain until Monday. So, the weather's crazy. But
yes,
the thing I love about canyons is it's always lush. It's always green. The ball always flies. There's this whole movement about what's the best, tee box in Utah. It is not Cedar Hills. Oh, Cedar Hills number 1. Dude, have you been to the 5th, the 17th, the 18th? Have you been to some of the greatness? The 18th tee box at Canyons Golf in Park City is superior to Cedar Hills, and I've played them both.
Yeah.
I look at the 5th tee at Canyons Golf is remarkable. Or is that the 6th?
The 6th.
The 6th, excuse me. The 6th hole, the tee box at Canyons on number 6 is remarkable. It's fantastic. You're looking down at about a 300-yard drive to the green. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing. I love everything about it. It's why it's our official golf club here on the Monty Show. It's affordable. You're paying municipal prices to play golf in the mountains, resort caliber golf at Canyons Golf. The annual passes is affordable, and it's 15 minutes up the hill. And it's worth every penny of it because you get elite service, really nice GPS carts, really good cart girls and cart staff, and they carry your bags to your cart for you, like concierge service. Amazing.
Yeah.
All set in the mountains of Park City. Hook it up. Canyons Golf, the official golf course of the Monty Show. We will be off tomorrow. Don't forget, back on Thursday morning. Then we're off next week because I'm going to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And Jake is going to the fecal matter roller capital of the world.
Yeah.
And you're going to Kansas City.
Yeah.
You could have gone anywhere you wanted.
That's not true.
That's not true. Bro, I put a ring on it. It's over now. He hasn't. And he's still being told where to go and what to do. You want to talk about it?
No, we got to go.
I'm kidding. It's a joke. Relax. Until Thursday. Say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.